What's up? What's up? Welcome to another market recap. Today is October 1st, 2025. So no trades again for me last night. Main group I was watching was this yen group that didn't fully pull back for me. I started focusing on trying to position size 4-to-1 trades primarily at the start of this week, which requires me waiting for price to pull back to the 1 hour 200 in most cases. And I was mainly waiting on this euro yen, and it kind of tapped 0.382 and then had a follow through. So a valid kind of trade from a 2-to-1 position sizing standpoint, but I was waiting for this pullback to 0.5 fib. So it didn't quite pull back enough for me to be able to take the trade. Even at, I think even if you would have tried to enter this at 0.382, your stop would only really be protected by, at time of entry, by the 1 hour 50. Not really too much by the 1 hour 200, so the 4 hour 50. So not ideal, and preferably that would have been okay, right? But still an entry was still valid for a 2-to-1 position sizing, but not the kind of 4-to-1 I was looking for. I think I had this position size at like almost 3-to-1. So the other thing I'm running into with trying to trade these 4-to-1 trades is margin. I'm running into issues with leverage. Not quite able to risk all the time a full 3%. Sometimes it's like 1.5% or 2%. So I don't know if it's going to be ideal for me to keep trying to trade 4-to-1s after this week. This is my first time really ever trying to mess with them. I think it might be a situation where I continue trading my normal 1 hour IBOs, CBOs in a 2-to-1 kind of position sizing because I don't have an issue with margin with that. And then stuff like this Swiss yen or Singapore yen coming up, these are turning into weekly setups. So like the Singapore yen is pretty nice weekly setup at this point. So we swap the time frames. Next week, when the pivots transfer over, you are essentially going to have you could draw it from any point here, but you're going to have this strong break of trend. So it's going to be a 4-hour CBO, a daily IBO, right? And then it'll likely be a 1 hour ACB. So I'm thinking about mainly targeting 4-to-1 trades on purely a 1 hour ACB. That would allow me to get the kind of position size I'm looking for, and as well as get the margin to be able to risk a full 3% with a 4-to-1 position. And then potentially targeting 2-to-1s in your normal kind of 1 hour IBOs and CBOs. So, but still thinking through it. Figure it out. But all your yens last night had minor pullbacks, nothing really to crazy value, except for kind of euro yen. I think you could have taken it if you had that 2-to-1 position sizing, and possibly even dollar yen, even though I didn't love the fact it was bouncing off this 200 and the daily time kind of looked a little bullish still. So, but still played out. The Aussies as well played out, like this Aussie Swiss played out pretty good for a 3-to-1 position. Again, wasn't really able to full risk on this, even at a 3-to-1, because it's still a 10 pip position. And the spread on this for me is like 2 pips. So it still doesn't kind of make sense to trade it with a 10 pip with the spread. So I stayed out of this trade. Out of the Aussies, I kind of prefer this Aussie knock the most. Spread wise, though, didn't really make sense to take the trade. Then Aussie dollar played out, but I didn't really care for the 4-hour price action here. And Euro Aussie played out. And this, I think Euro Aussie is a potential mistrade for me. I can find just reasons to not take the other three, but this trade did pull back to value. Granted, the price action's a little weird, but it still is kind of trending. So, you know, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, this is wave 5 on your 4-hour time frame. So it fits, and it still has the kind of daily bias short. Though I started to see this inverse head and shoulders right here, which kind of sketched me out a little bit. But you had this kind of clean pullback, a little bit of deceleration, you know, nice kind of reversal here on your 2-minute, 30-second. So I think this trade could have been taken for sure. And really just kind of taken on a break of this 30-second trend, either on the 30-second break or a 2-minute break. Either one was about the same entry. No. And likely this trade would have played out for 2 hours or so, I imagine. 33 pip position. Yeah, somewhere close to that. And then Kiwi CAD. It was also a pretty tight position size, like at 11 pips. And this trade also played out. So I didn't take this one either. The 1 hour kind of like sketched me out here. It's just, I don't know. I would have preferred to actually retest these lows, like a true kind of double bottom, and not this like slightly higher low and then, you know, higher high. It almost looks, I don't know. I guess in that regard, it did make sense to take the trade. Yeah, it's probably 2 potential mistrades for me last night. Kiwi CAD and Euro Aussie. Kind of 50-50 on them. I can see reasons not to take them. I can see reasons to take them. But given the fact that I'm halfway through the week, haven't taken a trade yet because I've mainly been waiting on those yens and haven't really got a true pullback on any of them to take them this week. Probably should have taken a shot at one of these. So anyways, that was my session. I'm going to go make a watch list for the upcoming session. I'll catch you guys in a minute. All right, I'm back. So I have, I guess, 4 groups. There's a number of decent setups. First group is this pound group right here. Probably the nicest trade of the session, price action-wise, of this euro pound. I don't have a single qualm with it, really. I mean, you have a nice kind of daily level. We've been watching this for a while. We've finally gotten a rejection, a breakdown off of it. You have a great bearish candle close on the daily. You have a strong push down on your 4-hour and your 1 hour. So clear lower low, trend change on your 4-hour, 1 hour. Same thing on the 10-minute, a pull back to, you know, 0.382, 0.5 fib, somewhere in this area is likely going to be an ACB on your 10-minute with a rejection of that 200 EMA. It'll be a CBO on the 1 hour, and it'll be an IBO on the 4-hour. So really nice trade. So this is the main trade I'll be looking to take. It's in tonight's session. The only problem is it's like a 13 pip position or so. And I know my leverage kind of sucks on pound pairs, but I'll just max it out and do what I can. Another option is this pound Swiss. Still similar price action, just not as nice since it's bouncing off the 4-hour 200 already. But very similar price action, you know, strong bullish push, nice kind of pullback here. Probably play an even tighter, like 4-to-1 position, potentially off of 10-minute 200. But the EMAs would need to get up there a little bit to at least be protected. If anything, you take it as a 2-to-1. But it's an option. Plays into our kind of pound strength bias. Pound Mexican. I don't know what the spread will really look like on this once the spreads cool down. But price action wise, it's nice, right? You have this kind of clear bottom here, clear trend, strong break again, just with the other two pairs. CBO on the 1 hour, IBO on the 4 hour. On a pullback, likely be an ACB on the 10-minute. So everything looks pretty good. Just depends on what the spread looks like on this one. And then pound PLN, similar, kind of depends what the spread's going to look like on this, because right now it's pretty astronomical. But similar vibes to all these other pound pairs, CBO, IBO, potential ACB. So all these pound pairs are the same thing. It's just euro pound probably has the cleanest price action for sure. But it also has had a pretty good breakout. So it needs a decent sized pullback, but it's already halfway there. So hopefully it continues pulling back for the next couple hours and gets an entry. Kiwis, they broke out yesterday. Looking at them, I think Kiwi CAD's probably the nicest of the bunch. You kind of have to ignore this little spikiness right here at market rollover. Price is really just kind of still sitting up here. So it'll need a pullback. But a pullback to like the pivot area, kind of a 15 pip stop, 2-to-1 position sizing fits. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, playing wave 5. So 1 hour CBO, 4 hour IBO, likely an ACB on your 10-minute. So all your time frames in line. Looks pretty good. Daily time frame looks good. They respected this level again. I mean, yesterday that we've watched it respect multiple times now. So it's a pretty strong level. So another potential trade for the evening. These other Kiwis, I've deflagged them just because I'm not sure if I'm able to trade them. Aussie Kiwis finally starting to break down, which is cool. You have like an IBO kind of set up here, somewhat a CBO on your 10-minute. But the spread for me on this pair sucks even at normal kind of trading hours. It's like 8 pips or something. And this position size is a little tight. So I doubt I'll be able to take this trade. So I'm not really going to worry about it. And then Kiwi Swiss is another option. Strong break, CBO, IBO, ACB. It's a 10 pip position, and I know I have usually a decent spread on this one as well, so I likely can't trade it because it's a little too tight. I'll keep watching, see how the spread tightens up as the next few hours go by. But this is like probably secondary to Kiwi CAD. And then Euro Kiwi. Actually, we can just leave this one flagged. We'll move that one there. Do like that. And then Euro Kiwi, same kind of thing, breakdown. It's just this one's sitting on your 4 hour 50, 1 hour 200. So it's just not completely ideal. I would have preferred price to fully break these levels and have a nice kind of CBO on the 1 hour. Man. So yeah, just not the cleanest of price action when it comes to how it's sitting with the EMAs. But still fits into the kind of Kiwi strength bias that we have, right? And then I have a knock group. These knock pairs are pretty clean. They're exotic pairs. I mean, all these are kind of exotic pairs. You have a Euro knock, Swiss knock, dollar knock. If memory serves me right, I should be able to trade Euro knock. I just won't be able to trade it until London session when the spreads calm down on it. But daily time frame wise, nice kind of bearish engulfing candle, real strong push off of the daily 50, 200. Clear break a trend on your 4 hour, on your 1 hour. So it's like a 1 hour CBO. It's a 4 hour like advanced continuation of this downward trend. Be an ACB on your 10-minute. So it looks okay. I think it's worth a shot. Swiss knock, same thing, almost identical. Dollar knock, again, very similar. I just think Euro knock and Swiss knock have cleaner price action. But this might be the only one I'd be able to trade depending on what spreads look like. I've traded this pair in the past. I know I can trade it. I just prefer the price action on Euro NOK and Swiss NOK. So we'll watch it, but playing essentially NOK strength. And then I have this kind of hodgepodge group here of random pairs. So I have an Aussie yen. Looking at this as a CBO. So you have a break of this kind of trend here. You have a broke of this low here on the 4 hour. So this is a lower low on both your 1 hour and your 4 hour, which is nice. The kind of negative to it is bouncing off of the 4 hour 200, but it still has room to go to the daily 50. So as well as it's kind of bouncing off of these highs over here on your 4 hour time frame, like daily and whatnot. So it has some negatives for sure. Most the other yen pairs look like they need some decent sized pullbacks. So I don't know. I think it definitely has potential. Just have to see how this kind of develops around the EMA and whatnot. But it's an option. And then I have Euro Singapore. Another kind of option. Decent price action, not the best. I mean, it's broken trend on your 1 hour time frame of breaking this, right? But 4 hour wise, this isn't technically a lower low yet. It's still, somewhat trending here. So this could be a little trappy, and it could just continue to push back up to the highs. But the 1 hour looks good. 10-minute looks good. I like the clear kind of break of this trend. It's just that the main trade may have already happened, like right here on your 10-minute, right there. Now it's just kind of like wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. This is kind of like a failed wave 5, and it looks like it's reversing now. But it could just hit the 200 EMA, 1 hour 50 fib levels, and reverse from there as well. So it's interesting. And then dollar Mexican, similar to pound Mexican. Right, pound Mexican has a cleaner kind of price action and break here, but also dollar Mexican has this kind of double bottom on your 4 hour, 1 hour time frames. You have a break of this downwards trend, so this is wave 1, be playing like a wave 3 CBO. Just the negative to it is that you have to trade through like the 1 hour 200, 4 hour 50, which typically that's our target. So the 10-minute price action, that was pretty clean. Kind of why I was looking at this trade. When I scanned all the exotic pairs, all the Mexican exotic pairs, all your Mexican pairs essentially look the same. So be it dollar Mexican, pound Mexican, euro Mexican, they all kind of are playing a Mexican weakness. Is my bias on them. So this dollar trade just may be a way to trade that bias. And yeah, that's the main stuff I'll be watching. Primarily, I'm looking for one of these pound pairs. I might entertain this Kiwi CAD. And then I would entertain like Euro NOK, Swiss NOK. And then I just have to see how these kind of oddball pairs develop, see what they look like at the time of entries. Development-wise, still have some Kiwi pairs on development watch. Might be able to take this Kiwi dollar off. I mean, it's kind of had this weird pullback. But Kiwi yen still hasn't broken out yet. The yens have been running, though, so likely when the yens pull back, this will finally break out. Pound Kiwi doesn't really fit with the other pound pairs that we have. It's just been moving sideways here. So waiting really for a complete breakout, play like a CBO on your 1 hour time frame, preferably. I think would be a nice trade on this. Essentially be a IBO on your 4 hour at that point as well. CAD Swiss still waiting for a breakout. Prices decelerating here pretty nicely. So just waiting for a breakout past these highs and EMAs. Dollar CAD, waiting to kind of see what happens with this double top. I think if we get a breakdown here, it'd be a nice kind of CBO on your 1 hour IBO on your 4-hour time frame, down to, it depends how it lines up, I guess, but kind of down to the daily 200 and these previous highs over here. Dollar Singapore is lining up to be a swing trade mainly. Like if you swap layouts here, you have a daily IBO, you have a 4-hour kind of ACB, not really a CBO. So, but it would need to pull back to where I have this alert set. So this previous high right here, roughly your 4-hour 200, so your daily 50. But it has potential. Pounds are still kind of waiting on a breakout. Likely if these other pound pairs that we have up here play out today, though, it'll push this pair to a breakout. I can delete these two. EuroCAD still waiting for a breakdown. And then I swapped all of these guys to development watch, all the yens that we've been watching the past few days. I mean, they've just kind of run. But they are all still pretty nice, weekly setups coming up, right? Basically weekly CBOs. Likely probably won't be a thing until next week, but this will be 4-hour CBOs and then likely 1-hour ACBs. So keep an eye on those and see what happens. Anyways, that's all I got, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. See you.